Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Krampus. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. It's been an interesting 24 hours since the last video I uploaded yesterday. Obviously, there's the rather big occurrence, the season finale of America's Next Top Hitler, where Kanye West comes out and gives a live performance that seems to have sealed the deal to allow him to win that competition. And then here this morning, upon waking up, I noticed a few channels reporting on the news that apparently Wizards of the Coast, through Dungeons & Dragons, has finally, after all these long centuries, has found the key to put an end to racism by just removing the word race from their game lexicon entirely. So, a game that's been around for 40, pushing 50 years, that's one of its core defining traits is that your characters are based on a axis of their race and their class. We're just going to cut one of those out and replace it with lineage, ancestry. Are they just going to go ahead and call it species like they arguably should have just been calling them the whole time, despite the fact that species doesn't really fit the themes of a fantasy medieval world? I guess no one there has ever seen George Carlin or how he's, described the phenomenon of, a word gets used as an insult a lot, so, kids who get made fun of with that word, they grow up, they decide to, like, we don't want to be calling other kids this nasty, dirty word, so we're going to find a new word for it. And then after another generation, that new term ends up becoming the thing that's considered insulting, and so they have to find another word to replace it, and another word to replace it, because unfortunately all these words are still describing the same thing. And the problem isn't the word, it's how people relate to the thing. So, eventually, thanks to D&D, we don't have to worry about anyone being racist anymore. Instead, we're going to all be lineagist, ancestrist, speciesist. I'm sure we'll find some way to still make sure that everyone playing this game are actually really just a bunch of bigots who have to give Wizards of the Coast $60 for a new book to prove how not lineagist they are. I don't know. It's stupid. It's unnecessary. It changes the identity of the game more and more away from anything. Like, it's, I guess, really the only way to really have one D&D that's completely neutral to everyone, that's completely satisfying for everyone, that's fair for everyone and not prejudiced, is that one D&D is just going to be a unisex, one-size-fit-all t-shirt with the D&D ampersand logo on it. And that's it. That's the entirety of what one D&D will be. It's just going to be a unisex t-shirt. Because, there's really nothing else they can do. Isn't it kind of dehumanizing to change these terms? Your player characters, can't be a race. They have to be othered even harder into becoming a species. Isn't this kind of an ironic use of the philosophy of colorblindness? Like, oh, well, one D&D just doesn't see race, don't you know? It doesn't affect their decision making at all when they're looking at applications for new player characters. They don't see the elf on the character sheet. They don't see the dwarf. Actually, no one sees dwarves. If you see a bunch of dwarves together, it's just a coincidence. Nothing. There's nothing afoot. But I don't know. Are they just tired of halflings coming up here and taking all their fantasy jobs? Are elves subverting their children by teaching them about beholder acceptance and dragon queen story hour? God damn, we're such a stupid people, and we deserve what we get. And I don't know. The bar was so changed yesterday by that epic rant on Alex Jones's show that why are we even bothering with this? Why are we even bothering with this? You know, the people who I really feel sorry for out there are the real, honest to God, true neo-Nazis that are out there in the world who spent years just hoping and waiting for anyone in the mainstream to like say anything to validate their positions. Then when someone finally does, it's Kanye West. Oh, what delicious irony. But thankfully, like I said, though, D&D's here to the rescue. They're putting the final nail in the coffin of this race problem. Hundreds of years of human conflict and abuse is just immediately erased by erasing race from the game. It's just not a thing. Sounds like a fun time for everyone involved, doesn't it? Get together with your friends in the privacy of your own home so you can have your own little private struggle session over whether or not being prejudiced about the nature of elves makes you a bad person. Why are they keeping class? Should they, like, separate class into, like, the bourgeoisie and the proletariat? Do we need to organize the barbarians to, you know, take down the bards who, you know, spread state propaganda on behalf of the paladins? I don't know. This is just the world we live in now. So anyway, just like everyone else, look forward to checking out OneD&D when it comes out, and this tasteless gray paste of flavorless, butterless oatmeal that apparently it's going to be as a role-playing game. But, you know, at least no one is going to be racist towards tieflings now, because they're just not a race. So you can't be racist about it, because we're not using the word race. Anyway, I guess that's about it. Have a Merry Krampus, and stay waspinated.